You guys? How y'all doing? So, UH softball will begin conference play tonight. That's Friday, March 7th, 2025. And they will begin against Long Beach State. Now, this is a team, Long Beach State, this is a team that can take one away from you if you're not careful. But UH really showed me something last year where they actually won one. And especially without the services of Maya Nakamura last year, because obviously it was a tough deal finding out that Maya Nakamura was down for the season with a career-ending injury. But you know what? UH softball has a lot to look forward to. I'm going to get into that a little bit. Before I do, guys, remember, subscribe if you think that I'm worth listening to. That's good enough for me. Obviously, the home season for UH men's basketball has concluded. Unfortunately, they lost to Cal State Bakersfield for the first time since 2021, and that was on the road at their place. And obviously, UH has to defeat CSUN to make it to the Big West tournament, but the Wahine basketball team clinched the number one seed. God, I wish the guys had that kind of season for sure. But I really hope that they can beat CSUN, even though it may not seem very likely. But we'll see what happens. I won't be doing any more recaps for basketball because really, I'm done with this season. I'm just ready to move on. But anyway, let's get into this. But, I think this is what it says. UH softball defeats all but one team in Outrigger Invitational 2025. Now, I have to say, though, that these tournaments that UH has played, like the Outrigger Invitational, the Spring Fling, and the Bank of Hawaii Paradise Classic, they face off against some pretty legitimate opponents. And, of course, softball is wide open. You can take one away from a D2 squad or maybe even take one away from a ranked opponent, but it would be difficult. But still, for UH softball to do this well in the Outrigger Invitational, they scored 33 runs overall. They only lost 2 times, okay? And both of those times were to Washington. And they were able to blank Howard and Jackson State. And I believe they also turned back another team. I can't quite remember what it was. But still, the only team that they lost to was Washington. And obviously that was a tough gig for sure. But you know what? To have as many as 3 shutouts in the 6 games that they played, that's speaking volumes that this year is going to be great. I thought last year was going to be a payoff year, but it seemed like something went wrong during non-conference play, and they were 1-10 at one point. And then again, it was a tough schedule. It did prepare them for conference. They actually did finish pretty decent, 4th overall. But it probably could have been a 3rd if they didn't lose Maya Nakamura. But by the time Cal State Fullerton, the final homestand, came around, it seemed like looking for inspiration for Maya Nakamura's season-ending injury could possibly have worn out its welcome. But them's the breaks. I do think that we will be in for a great season. And if UH softball can score a total of 33 runs in the 6 games played, that's a sign that they're going to be really, really good. And even Coach Bob Coolin in his final season was really optimistic for that. And I actually was very encouraged myself, although I did only attend the first game or the first day of the Outrigger Invitational. That was against Howard. And UH ended up winning that one 3-0. I did follow the other games through social media on X, and the softball team played really well. And I was actually really surprised. because after all the seniors had left, like Haley Johnson, Dallas Millwood, and Maya Nakamura, just to name a few, I had some doubts that softball may not be that great or may be pretty decent, maybe like UH men's basketball is playing this season, but they proved me wrong in more ways than one. With girls like Karis Murakami, Liliana Thomas, and Jamie McGaughey, we're in for a great season in conference play. Are we going to win conference? I don't know. They were picked to finish 4th. I think they could do better, like a top 3, maybe 2nd or 3rd, but that was my personal prediction, 2nd or 3rd. But they'll have to come in with a lot of fire, and hopefully some breaks will come their way. But I have to say, in the one game I attended, which was Howard, I was very encouraged by girls like Milan Ayat and Mason Gibbs. And those are the only two that really did the scoring in that game, because Mason Gibbs got the first run via Liliana Thomas, and then Milan Ayat blasted another double home run. So that was one of the happy moments for sure of that Howard game. Now, granted, Howard, it's kind of an okay competition. But for UH to win, to blank them in every game played, that's really good. But anyway, as far as conference season goes, I like to think that some of the players like Karis Murakami, Liliana Thomas, and Millie Fidge, they're ready to go. I even asked them that after one of the other games that I attended. They said they're ready. And quite frankly, from the games that I've gone to, they're proving them right. They're proving me right. Or I should say, they're proving that they're right. You know, especially with Milan Ayat blasting that walk-off homer over Utah Tech in the 8th inning in the Bank of Hawaii Paradise Classic. And that was actually on my birthday that she did that. And that was a great birthday present for me, for sure. But still, for softball to come through, if they can come through with a sweep over Long Beach State, or at least take 2 out of 3, they're feeling pretty good. But can they get a 3-game sweep over some teams? I don't know. They probably will. My guess would be CSUN would be a good bet. Maybe Cal State Bakersfield, but I'm not sure. Then again, when Cal State Bakersfield came here, it was a non-conference game. But still, Bakersfield managed to turn them back 7-2, and they had 3 home runs in that game. So that leads me to believe that Bakersfield won't be an easy walk in the park like how last year was. And last year was when Miley Bethea came into fruition. She had a lot of home runs, including a grand slam. That was a happy moment for sure. But you know what? That was just one game. And Milan Ayat, when I asked her about that first game, she didn't seem too worried about that. She said it was just one of those games where nothing went right, and it seemed like they were just finding themselves. But I think right now, if that home run against Utah Tech was any indication, which brought Bob Coolin to tears after watching KHON2's video on that, that's a sign that this team is going to turn some heads in 2025. So I hope that they will. I think that they will too. So hopefully, if UH can score 33 runs and come away with only 2 losses in the Outrigger Invitational, they've got some good stuff to look forward to. So we'll see what happens. Unfortunately, the only game that will be televised will be tonight's game on the 7th against Long Beach State. The doubleheader will not be televised, but I will, however, get my shots to put on my YouTube channel. So you will see some of those. So with that being said, go Bows. I'm ready to put basketball behind me, and I'm ready for softball. So I will try and get some more interviews with them. Most likely be audio interviews. But we'll see what happens. Just got to be a little more outgoing, I guess, and maybe not wait so much. But then again, I did meet the woman in charge, and they're happy to have me. That's what she told me. So I will get my shots. I was going to get them no matter what. But still, this is my calling. I want to be there. I want to be part of the media. But I got to do something about getting part of an entity for sure. That's the only way I can get back there. So anyway, guys, that's all for today. And remember, subscribe, go Bows, and we'll see you all for my first softball conference recap of 2025, which will come soon. So thanks, guys. Subscribe. I'll see you all later.
Finalized ball game for the Howard Bison. No runs, 4 hits, nobody, no errors, and 4 left on base. University of Hawaii Rainbow Wahine, 3 runs, 6 hits, 1 error, and 6 left on base.